Hello language learners, in this video we're going to do a countdown of the 10 best Netflix series in Spanish that you can use as of this year to learn your vocabulary, gain comfort with the language, and improve your Spanish while having fun. Así que nada, vamos a por ello. Hello language lovers and welcome to my channel. My name is Jerry and this channel is for anyone interested in learning Spanish or interested in language learning in general. I'm a huge fan of the Spanish language. I've learned a lot about how to learn it well this past year, and I'm continuing to dive further into my language journey this year. Each week in this channel, I'll share the tips, strategies, and the practical things that I find are making the language learning process fun and effective for me, with the hopes that it will arm you with the tools to do the same for yourselves. Always feel free to make video requests, ask questions, share comments, subscribe, or just share your language learning journey in the comments, as those are super fun to read, and I'll be reading and responding to them all. Today's video is a fun one. We're going to do a countdown of the 10 best Netflix series, all produced in native Spanish, that you can use as a fun addition to your language learning process. Now, I went over some of the benefits of watching TV shows in my last video, which I'll be sure to link in this video as well as in the comments. But essentially, shows are fun, and finding the right show that you like will keep you coming back for more without too much effort. And each show tends to have a unique set of vocabulary that pertain to that show's topic that get repeated episode after episode. A show about lawyers might finally teach you some legal jargon that you didn't know. A show about cooking might teach you about all the names of the cooking appliances and different cooking techniques and ingredients that you never thought to learn in Spanish. So even without trying, you walk away with a new set of vocabulary that you might not even have thought to look up if you hadn't watched the show. Now, to structure this video, I'll go over each series and why I think it's cool and worth your time, and don't worry, there will be no spoilers. Then I'll dive into some of the specific vocabulary that you can expect to learn from each show. Alright, let the countdown begin. Empecemos. Number 10. Alta Mar. We set sail aboard an ocean liner heading from Spain and Europe to the Americas, along with two sisters, Carolina y Eva. But a mysterious death aboard the ship turns the fun cruise into a romance-filled murder mystery that forces everyone to reveal their true colors. Now, this series will keep you around for 3 seasons and 22 episodes. As for the specific vocabulary you can expect to learn from this show, you'll learn words related to things like ships, investigations, and ocean navigation. Words like olas, which means waves, ahogarse, which means to drown, and of course the name of the show, Alta Mar, which means high seas. Now, another benefit of this show is that it has a pretty slow to moderate speaking pace, which is awesome for helping you catch phrases, repeat things back, and read subtitles. Number 9. Las Chicas del Cable. I'm currently working my way through this 5-season and 42-episode series that is produced in Spain and features a powerful cast of women. The story sets stage in 1928 in Madrid, before the 1929 stock market crash. The story centers on 4 women who join a company as telephone operators and start to work to change the face of the working world and the opportunities that women have access to. In the midst of their journeys, they may break a law here or there, so they'll have to learn how to band together to fight against the system and society that they live in. Now, as for specific language benefits and vocabulary from this show, you can expect to learn words about business, old technology, inventions, and crime. Just to name a few, you'll learn the word telefonista, which means telephone operator, abonados, which in this case will refer to subscribers or members, and finally the word caja fuerte, which means safe, like where you store money in a bank. Now, this show is a bit faster paced, so it does offer a good challenge to try to keep up with what the characters are saying. Now, a benefit of this show is that since it takes place in the center of business, you'll get to hear a lot of formal conversations and get to practice things like the usted form. Number 8. Vivir sin permiso. This series originates from Spain and will present 2 seasons and 23 episodes worth of narco drama. It features the story of the Bandera family, led by Nemo, who seems to hold the world at his fingertips and has amassed a massive fortune through less than legal means. But Nemo is soon diagnosed with Alzheimer's, which leads to complications in the running of his operation and leads to conflicts of succession, family trust, and leads to action-packed episodes. Now, as for specific vocabulary and language benefits, you'll learn a good number of words related to medical diagnosis and business. Examples include trastabillar for stumble, leal for loyal, and invertir for invest. The speaking pace for this show is moderate, so it offers a challenge, but it's not too bad for picking up the vocab. Number 7. El Dragón. This is a fantastic series originating in Mexico, featuring a talented group of performers. Now, this series will keep you around for a while. It comes out to 2 seasons and a total whopping 82 episodes. Now, as for the plot, the story centers around Miguel Garza, El Dragón. Miguel's family is the leader of a cartel, but Miguel's grown up away from it in Japan, where he picks up a different way of moving about the world, and it gives him this aura of mystery when he's finally called back to lead the cartel. But Miguel wants to run things very differently. He's lived by a lifestyle of meditation, a code of honor, and he's picked up a finance savvy while in Japan that he wants to bring back home. Miguel wants to change things completely, making this show very unique and different from any other cartel shows. At times, Miguel appears invincible, cunning, a true dragon. But is he really invincible? Can the dragon fall? These answers await you in the series. There's also good chunks of romance to spice things up as well. Now, as for the language benefits, this show originates from Mexico, which has its own beautiful flavor of Spanish. Now, even if you're learning a different dialect, I'd still add this show because it gives you familiarity with Spanish outside of your immediate dialect. You'll notice differences in the accents and the pronunciation of words, and you'll see differences like the use of platicar instead of hablar. Now, as for specific vocabulary, you can expect to learn a good chunk of words related to finance, as Miguel is quite a stock whiz. Words like en alza, to say that a stock is on the rise, acciones for shares, and ganancia neta for net gains. And finally, the pace of the show is not too fast, which is great for helping you to catch some of the words that they're saying. Number 6. Elite. Originating from Spain with 3 seasons and 24 episodes, this show is filled with drama and suspense that will keep you hooked. This is pretty much Spanish Degrassi. The exposition of this show opens up with 3 students from humble backgrounds who get scholarships to an elite private high school, but blending in proves quite challenging. Confrontations with the wealthy students leads to thefts, disappearances, and potentially even murder, as these teenagers soon find themselves in police chases and investigations. If you want movement, action, and drama, this show has lots of it. Now, as for language benefits, this show is as colloquial as it gets. So hearing this informal style over and over again will teach you vocabulary that you can use with your friends and when you're out. It was really fun for me to watch this show because I was taking university classes in Spain at the time. So I would hear some words in the show one day and then hear it around me from my classmates the next. As for the speaking pace, yeah, it's fast. This is going to offer a good challenge and you may have to pause every once in a while. I certainly paused when I first started, so no worries if you have to. Some specific vocab examples include words like becas for scholarships, chaval or chavala for kid, and reglamento for regulation, the rules of a school. Number 5. En Tiempos de Guerra. This is a fantastic 1-season, 13-episode miniseries. It originates from Spain and will take you to the medical front lines of the battlefield during the Spanish Rif War of the 1920s. You'll join Julia Ballester as she leaves her wealth behind to join the war as a nurse, taking care of wounded soldiers on the front line while looking for her fiancé who disappeared in combat. There's lots of actions, some romance, and plenty of medical procedures. As for specific vocabulary, you can expect to learn words related to medical care, warfare, and military rank. Examples include munición for ammunition, teniente, and heridas for wounds. The speaking pace for this show is slow to moderate, so it's not too bad for picking up vocabulary. Number 4. Gran Hotel. You'll accompany Julio Olmedo, a stand-up guy from humble backgrounds, for 3 seasons and 39 episodes, as he goes to the most illustrious hotel in Cantaloa in search of his sister who disappeared not too long ago. Julio quickly learns that there are some sketchy things going on at the Grand Hotel, but as he's playing his role as a self-declared investigator, he starts to fall for the daughter of the hotel owner. This series quickly becomes a Spanish Romeo and Juliet, 2 people who should not be together, but might just try to do so anyway. As for language benefits, this show is rich in vocabulary. The speaking pace is also slow to moderate, which is great for catching phrases, reading subtitles, and speaking back phrases that you hear. Now, you'll learn a lot of formal vocabulary and words related to rank and royalty. Examples include duquesa for duchess, dueña for female boss or owner, and acontecimientos for events. Now, this series was removed from Netflix in January 2021, but this series has been removed and re-added to Netflix in the past. So I wanted to leave this one in the list just in case it comes back. Number 3. La Casa de Papel. Here you will accompany the professor through all the secret entrances and corridors of La Fábrica Nacional de Moneda y Timbre in Madrid, in Spain, the site of the largest bank robbery in history. At your sides will be a band of 8 of the most interesting people, each chosen for their unique and special skill and charm. Will everything go according to plan? Has the professor really thought of every possible scenario? How can a bank robbery last 4 seasons and 31 episodes? And why is this one of the most famous Netflix series of all time internationally? All these answers await you behind the play button. Now, as for specific language benefits, you learn a mix of formal vocabulary from the professor, informal vocabulary from the band of 8, and a mix of words covering strategy, police and detectives, bank robbery, and weapons. Examples include words like jaleo for trouble or racket, rehenes for hostages, and atraco for robbery. The pace for this show is generally pretty fast and will push you to advance your language skills. Number 2. Vis a Vis. Vis a Vis will take you around the prison block for 4 seasons and 40 episodes. In this series, produced in Spain, you'll follow Macarena as she gets wrongfully convicted, locked behind bars, and forced to create a new life behind the prison walls. As Macarena forges ahead, you'll get to meet her and her inmates, and hear their personal stories, and see a very human side to their experiences. As for language benefits, this show is also very colloquial, so this is great for picking up phrases and words that you can use in conversations with your friends. Now, the speaking pace is quite fast, so this will be a good challenge to help you push your Spanish. As for specific vocab, you'll learn words related to law, investigation, prison, and escaping. Examples include el juzgado for the court, malversar for embezzle, like embezzling funds, and of course, fugar for escape. And at number 1, we have La Catedral del Mar. This is a beautiful little series with 8 episodes of raw emotion. You'll see the full arc of Arnau Estanyol's entire life unfold before your eyes, and you'll watch him fight against the injustices of wealthy elites as a poor peasant without title or rank. In this feudal period, Arnau represents a courageous figure who is noble and has good intent, but is also not without flaw. You'll watch the incredible passion and romance and action unfold and experience some shocking and tearjerker moments. Now, when it comes to language benefits, this show is a gem. You'll learn vocabulary related to old warfare, things like ballesteros for crossbowmen and espadachines for swordsmen. But this show is also quite special linguistically because it contains an older form of Spanish. You'll notice that characters use the now plural ustedes form when speaking to a single person of high rank. For example, in one scene where a character speaks to the king, this line is said, "No os pido más, Alteza. I ask you for nothing more, your highness or your grace." Os today is used as an informal plural pronoun to refer to a group of people, you all. But back in this older form of Spanish, it was used to reference a single person of rank. You'll also get to learn about the baistachos, the people who carried stones on their backs for great distances to build a church. And you'll learn words like cofradia for brotherhood. Now, the speaking pace for this show is not too bad, so you can pick up some of the phrases pretty well. I really have a soft spot for this show, and I think you're gonna love it. And that's the top 10. Now, many of these shows lean to Spain since that's been my focus for the past year, but there's a world of fantastic media content in all dialects of Spanish, so at least these 10 series will help you get started to scratch the surface, and then you can dive further to explore more. Comment below, which of these series have you already seen? Which one are you now adding to your list? And is there one that we missed that should definitely be in the top 10? Subscribe for more language tips, resources, and experiences, and we'll see you next week. Sending good vibes and energy to you all, and hasta la próxima.